I mean, being a part of Harry Potter, I mean, what sort of attributes do you think it's given you? Because obviously you're learning a lot more than I think a lot of other kids who
Yeah, I think so. I guess it's just, I guess I've had much more of a multi-layered, childhood, you could call it. It's kind of this whole, not only do you have, school and family and friends, you have this whole other kind of side and kind of facet to it. So it has been, I think it does, I had to be quickly, all of us really quickly matured in this sense that we had to kind of learn this much more harder work ethic. We were here to sort of create something together, so we kind of definitely pulled our weight and all worked together. And I think just from being around people who kind of are such at the top of their field, all the people who are working here have had such amazing experience and done so many amazing projects. Just to learn from them has been probably the most inspirational thing, and just other actors and literally every kind of famous and talented British actor and actress has been in these films, so just to watch things has been my favourite thing. But yeah.
Did you much more principal characters?
Yeah, definitely. I think that was also an amazing sort of thing for me. I think by starting at a much smaller level, involvement-wise and how challenging it was so nice to sort of grow into it. I think as I grew older and I grew more confident in what I was doing, that's when the character began to grow and sort of develop. I mean, it's definitely been challenging, but it's been really exciting to have more to do and to sort of have more input and responsibility into a film. It's been.
And how much do you remember?
Yeah, I think quite vividly remember quite a lot of it, really. I think it's kind of an experience that I'll never really forget, that moment of, all those first moments of sort of the auditioning process, and that first moment of stepping on a film set is something that I don't think I'll ever forget. It was something so kind of so new to me. I hadn't ever I knew nothing about sort of, literally the simple things like what action meant and what cut meant and all the technical things that surround film. So it was just crazy. I think if I ever look back at it, it's my expression on camera is literally my expression in real life. I don't think I was acting in any way. I was just sort of as amazed as everything that was going on around me.
So how are other projects and feel confident about it?
I don't know. I think when you're here, there's a certain sense of safeness here. You know everyone who's operating the cameras. You know everyone who's behind the scenes. So there is a sense of ease much more here, I think. I mean, even if you just even when I sort of start to imagine other projects that I go on to do, I don't think I'm 100% confident, because there's no way I've learned everything. I mean, there's so many more things I've got to learn, and there's so many more things I've yet to experience. So I think I'm very much at the early stages, really. And even things like you say, like at red carpets and different things. I mean, it's been weird to now kind of have them as a sort of regular part of one's year, but at the same time, I think no matter how many you go to or how many sort of arrive at, you can't ever really take them in anyone. I don't think anyone can take them in their stride. It's so surreal just seeing fans just all kind of gathered from all over just to sort of see the launch of a film. It's sort of, I don't know, every time it happens, it's kind of as kind of shocking as the next, but yeah.
Well, may it long continue.
I wondered what you thought when you first signed on for Harry Potter. You were Ginny Weasley, part of the Weasley family.
Yeah.
What happened when you found out eventually that Ginny Weasley was going to become the girlfriend of Harry Potter?
I know, it's strange. I think from the obviously very beginning, Harry's connection with Ginny, of the character, was just through a family sort of connection, and it was sort of, I don't know, just his best friend's little sister in that was the relationship. So it was quite weird, I think, when I finally realised and I read the book and you saw where they went, and then reading the final one, realising, that was it, this is the relationship. It's quite surreal. I mean, I think the more I've sort of looked into and sort of kind of been the character in that sixth one, I think at first I was sort of still really interested in why they were drawn towards each other, and I think the more I sort of worked on it and the more David Yates and I sort of discussed the character, the more we both realised that I think it's just this sense of, I don't know, safeness they both find in one another. There's kind of obviously it's his sense of belonging. It's the only kind of home he has is the Weasley family, and I guess she represents all of that in just one figure of a person. So, and I don't think she doesn't judge him in any different light. I think so many people kind of see him as these famous chosen one figure, and she's kind of quite open and calm about that. So,
did you feel that you were growing into that role as as the movies went from 1 to 2 to 3, and you read the books? Did you feel confident or any kind of trepidation?
I don't know. I think for all of us, I think every new challenge our character has in each movie is sort of, you do look at it with slight trepidation, because all these hundreds of millions of fans are reading the book, and they have their they have their vision of the character and they have their vision of each film. So, you know, we want to sort of do as much justice to the character as possible. But I think at first it was very challenging. I think the sixth one especially, I think there's just so many different sort of you know, areas she finds herself in and emotions that she has to sort of, I had to show. But I mean, I think I just found it, I think the more I got into it, the more sort of involved and excited I got by sort of completing a scene or doing a scene. And it was, I think by having more involvement, I got so much more back from watching the film. I think it was just more rewarding, really.
Do the fans help or hinder that process in any way? Because the fans, some of them are extremely passionate, and then and loved Harry Potter, the character, and are somewhat protective of him. And then you became the girlfriend. Did you?
Yeah, I think. I mean, obviously, I guess so many people read these the stories, and their hero is Harry, and anyone who sort of crosses him is kind of they don't really
better watch it.
They don't really like it. But I don't know. I think the sort of reaction with the whole Ginny and Harry coming together as the relationship has been, I think, quite well received. I guess I think they can understand as well the same idea that I'm saying. This why they find each other quite slowly. I think it slowly develops. I mean, it's only the first few stages really in the fifth film. I don't think we really get to see them until the seventh one. You know what they are really about. But I don't know. I don't think they've impacted it too much. I haven't really got any really bad hate sort of or jealousy so far. But yeah.
And I'm also wondering how much of you probably have a better sense and a better feel for the more recent movies as you do for the past movies. Do you remember them? You're so young.
Yeah. I know sometimes we don't know. When did we do that? I forgot that. No, I think you do. I mean, I started when I was 9. I think you can still vividly remember quite a lot of it. I mean, I think there are moments that stand out more so than others. I think my first day filming is something, you know, I'll never sort of forget. But I think as each film goes on, I think they do quite have. I think some people think, oh, don't they all just blend into one and you can't see the borderline? But I think because each film for us has such a different theme and it's got such a different feeling and mood to it that I've always been able to see what we shot when and which film that was and where I was. I think everyone knows where they were personally and where they were in their character. So they all kind of their unique thing.
And I know everybody has asked you this already, but where do you see yourself now that it's coming to an end?
Yeah, no, it's a kind of strange feeling. I think all of us kind of are trying to block it out and kind of take as much as we can from the last few months of filming. But it's going to be surreal, I think. I think because we all started here so young, it was just an experience. We sort of just found ourselves feeling like, oh, this is normal, this is what every, you know, child does. But I think as we've grown up, the more we've realised this is actually a very unique and strange thing to find ourselves in. But I think it's going to be challenging to sort of you know, keep going and to keep finding things that we enjoy. And it's also just going to be, it's just a mixture of excitement but also kind of weird sort of sadness that will go with it, the sense that we won't ever be back here again. I mean, we can still, you know, we still keep in contact and see each other, but to kind of never ever come back onto these sets and be in our costumes is going to be weird. It was very weird. I mean, I'd done nothing before, so it was kind of, I literally didn't know what action or cut meant or what cameras rolling was or anything, so it was very much in at the deep end. But I think I was just completely in awe with it. I was you know, 9 years old, and nothing seemed to be anything I could relate to or had seen before. It was amazing. I think it's a sense of sadness. It's like, I think it's even more than, you know, that sense when you finish school. I think it's even kind of more emotional than that because it's been so much more part of our lives than school is. It's kind of, I don't know, it's just finishing a whole chapter of your life. It's kind of closing that sort of childhood stage, I guess. It is a family. When you try and explain it to people, it's quite difficult. It's kind of this sort of family, friendship, sort of mixture of kind of, because you're in a working environment, so you are sort of, you know, you're working and you're concentrating, but you obviously make so many more light moments from being friends.